Every damn day. Stay focused on what matters. You wake up with good intentions. Today's going to be different. Today you'll finally make progress on that project, hit the gym, eat right, and maybe even get ahead. But then the day happens. Emails flood in. Someone needs something urgent. Your phone buzzes with notifications. Before you know it, it's 3 p.m. and you've been busy all day but accomplished nothing that actually matters. Sound familiar? Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You're not failing because you lack talent, resources, or opportunities. You're failing because you're focused on the wrong things. You're grinding when you should be winning. The daily grind is what happens when you're reactive, when you let the world dictate your agenda. You're putting out fires, responding to everyone else's priorities, and staying busy without being productive. You feel exhausted at the end of the day but can't point to anything meaningful you've accomplished. That's the grind. It's exhausting, demoralizing, and it leads nowhere. The daily win is different. It's what happens when you wake up knowing exactly what matters and you protect that focus like your life depends on it, because it does. You're not doing more things, you're doing the right things. You're not busy, you're effective. And at the end of the day, you can look back and say, I moved the needle today. Why consistency beats intensity. We live in a culture obsessed with dramatic transformation. We want the 90-day body, the overnight success, the viral moment that changes everything. But here's what actually works: showing up every single day and doing a few important things well. Think about it. Would you rather work out intensely for 3 weeks and then quit, or exercise moderately for the next 5 years? Would you rather write 10,000 words in a caffeine-fueled weekend binge, or 500 words every single day for a year? The math isn't even close. Consistency compounds. A 1% improvement every day doesn't sound impressive, but over a year, you're 37 times better than when you started. That's not motivational fluff, that's exponential growth through daily execution. The problem is that consistency is boring. It doesn't make for good Instagram content. There's no dramatic before and after photo of, I showed up and did the work today, just like yesterday, and just like I will tomorrow. But that's exactly what builds careers, relationships, health, and wealth. Intensity gets attention. Consistency gets results. Small actions, massive results. Every significant achievement in your life will come down to what you did daily, not occasionally. Your health isn't determined by that 1 week you ate perfectly, it's determined by what you eat most days. Your business doesn't grow from one brilliant idea, it grows from the daily execution of good ideas. Your relationships don't thrive because of grand gestures, they thrive because you show up, listen, and care consistently. The transformative power isn't in the action itself, it's in the repetition. When you do something once, it's an event. When you do it every day, it becomes who you are. Consider this: if you read just 10 pages of a meaningful book every day, you'll finish 12 full books in a year. If you write 300 words daily, you'll have a 100,000-word manuscript in less than a year. If you reach out to one person in your network every day, you'll have 365 meaningful connections strengthened by year's end. None of these individual actions feel significant at the moment. But compounded over time, they're life-changing. What this book will do for you. This isn't another productivity book full of complicated systems you'll never use. This is a manual for cutting through the noise and focusing on what actually moves your life forward every damn day. In the pages ahead, you'll learn how to get crystal clear on what truly matters so you stop wasting energy on things that don't. Build a daily execution system that works even when motivation disappears. Protect your attention from the constant assault of distractions. Say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. Show up and do the work even when it's hard, boring, or inconvenient. Measure progress in ways that keep you motivated and on track. Each chapter is designed to be practical and immediately actionable. You won't need fancy apps, complicated frameworks, or a complete life overhaul. You just need clarity about what matters and the discipline to do it, every damn day. Your new standard. Here's what I want you to understand before we go any further. mediocrity isn't about lack of talent. It's about lack of focus. You're capable of so much more than you're currently achieving, but you're spreading yourself too thin. You're saying yes to everything and ending up with nothing meaningful to show for it. This book is your permission to cut the rest. To stop pretending that everything is important. To ruthlessly prioritize what actually matters and let everything else go. Starting today, you're going to operate differently. You're going to wake up with clarity, execute with focus, and go to bed knowing you moved forward. Not someday. Not when things calm down. Every damn day. Let's get to work. Check out my book every damn day. Stay focused on what matters in the description below. It's designed to help you cut through the noise and build the daily habits that actually move the needle in your life. Link in the description. Chapter 1. Clarity comes first. Before you can focus on what matters, you need to know what matters. This sounds obvious, but most people are running at full speed in the wrong direction. They're working hard, staying busy, and making progress on things that ultimately don't move their lives forward. You can't win a game when you don't know what winning looks like. Clarity is the foundation of everything else in this book. Without it, every productivity system, time management technique, and motivational strategy is useless. You'll just become very efficient at doing the wrong things. The cost of living without clarity. When you lack clarity, you default to whatever seems urgent. You respond to whoever shouts loudest. You chase opportunities that sound good but lead nowhere. You feel perpetually busy but never satisfied because deep down, you know you're not working on what truly matters. Living without clarity creates a specific kind of exhaustion, not physical tiredness, but a soul-deep weariness that comes from spending your days on things you don't care about. You look back at your week, your month, your year, and you can't quite explain where the time went or what you accomplished that actually mattered to you. This is the default mode for most people. They inherit priorities from their culture, their workplace, their family, their social media feed. They're living someone else's definition of success and wondering why achievement feels empty. Your non-negotiables. The antidote to this scattered existence is identifying your non-negotiables. The handful of things that must happen for your life to feel meaningful and on track. Not 47 things. Not everything. A short list of what truly matters across the key areas of your life. Think about 4 core domains: work, health, relationships, and personal growth. In each area, what are the 1 or 2 things that, if you did them consistently, would transform everything? For work, your non-negotiable might not be checking email 50 times a day or attending every meeting. It might be, make meaningful progress on projects that build my skills and career. That's it. Everything else in your work life should be evaluated against that standard. For health, forget about having the perfect workout routine, meal plan, and sleep schedule. What's the one non-negotiable? Maybe it's, move my body for 30 minutes every day. Simple. Clear. Doable. For relationships, you don't need to be the perfect partner, parent, or friend. But you might need to be fully present with the people I love for at least 1 hour daily, no phone, no distraction, just connection. For growth, it might be, learn something new every day that makes me better at what I care about. These are examples. Your non-negotiables will be different. The key is that they must be specific enough to guide daily decisions, but broad enough to give you flexibility in how you fulfill them. The Clarity Framework. Here's a simple process to identify what truly matters to you. Step 1. The deathbed test. Imagine yourself at 80 years old, looking back on your life. What did you spend your time on that you're proud of? What do you wish you had done more of? What do you regret wasting energy on? This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. It cuts through the noise of what society says should matter and reveals what actually matters to you. Step 2. The energy audit. For 1 week, pay attention to what gives you energy and what drains it. Not what you think should energize you, what actually does. You might discover that the prestigious project at work depletes you while the side hustle you do on weekends lights you up. That's valuable information. Step 3. The hell yes or no test. Go through your current commitments, projects, and regular activities. For each one, ask, is this a hell yes? If it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no. You don't have to quit everything immediately, but this exercise shows you how much of your life you're spending on things you don't actually care about. Step 4. Write your non-negotiables based on what you learned. Write down 3 to 5 non-negotiables total, not per category, but across your entire life. These are the things that must happen regularly for you to feel like you're living with purpose and making progress. Everything else is negotiable. Cutting everything else. Here's where most people struggle. Once you've identified what matters, you have to actually let go of what doesn't. This means saying no to good opportunities, declining invitations, quitting projects, disappointing people who expect things from you. It feels irresponsible. It feels selfish. It feels scary. But here's the truth. Saying yes to everything is actually the most irresponsible thing you can do. When you spread yourself across 20 priorities, you make zero real progress on any of them. You let everyone down in slow motion instead of being honest about where you can and can't contribute. The people who accomplish extraordinary things aren't superhuman. They're not more talented or disciplined or intelligent than you. They're just more focused. They said no to 100 things so they could say yes to one thing that mattered. Steve Jobs didn't make Apple great by doing everything. He made it great by cutting almost everything and focusing obsessively on a few products done exceptionally well. Warren Buffett doesn't make money by diversifying into every opportunity. He waits for the perfect pitch and swings hard. Every top performer in every field has the same secret: ruthless clarity about what matters and the courage to ignore everything else. Your clarity statement. End this chapter by writing a simple clarity statement. 1 or 2 sentences that capture what you're focused on right now in your life. This isn't your life purpose or your grand mission statement. It's just, right now, I'm focused on X because Y. For example, right now, I'm focused on building my business and my health because everything else in my life depends on these 2 foundations. Right now, I'm focused on being present for my family and delivering excellence in my core work projects because these are my non-negotiables. This statement will evolve as your life changes, and that's fine. The point is to have a clear answer when opportunities, requests, and distractions come your way. You can check them against your clarity statement and decide quickly, does this align or not? Clarity isn't something you find once and have forever. It's something you return to again and again. When you feel scattered, overwhelmed, or off track, the solution is always the same: get clear on what matters, and cut everything else. That's where focus begins. Chapter 2: Your Daily Must Dose. You know what matters now. You've identified your non-negotiables. But knowing what matters and actually doing what matters are 2 different things. The gap between them is where most people get lost. This is where your daily must-dos come in: a short, crystal clear list of what needs to get done each day to keep your life moving in the right direction. Not everything you could do. Not everything you want to do. Just what must get done. The power of a short list. There's something psychologically powerful about having a short list of non-negotiable tasks. It grounds you. When the day gets chaotic, and it will, you can look at your must-dos and know exactly what you need to protect. Everything else can wait, shift, or disappear entirely. But these happen. Most people make the mistake of creating massive to-do lists that would take 47 hours to complete in a 24-hour day. Then they feel like failures when they don't finish everything. They go to bed defeated, despite having worked hard all day. Your daily must-dos solve this problem. They're not aspirational. They're essential. They're the minimum effective dose of daily action that keeps you aligned with your non-negotiables. Complete them, and you've won the day. Everything else is a bonus. What belongs on your daily must-dos? Your list should contain 3 to 5 items maximum. These aren't random tasks. They directly connect to your non-negotiables from Chapter 1. If your non-negotiable is building your business, your daily must-do might be: work on revenue-generating activity for 2 hours. Not check email or attend meetings. Those things might happen, but they're not must-dos. The must-do is the thing that actually moves your business forward. If your non-negotiable is health, your daily must-do might be: exercise for 30 minutes and eat 2 healthy meals. Specific. Measurable. Non-negotiable. If your non-negotiable is relationships, your daily must-do might be: have one meaningful conversation with someone I care about. You don't need to define what meaningful means, you know it when it happens. Notice that these aren't outcome-based. Land a new client, or lose 2 pounds. They're action-based. You can't always control outcomes, but you can always control whether you do the work. Your daily must-dos should be entirely within your control. Building your daily action plan. Here's a simple framework for structuring your day around what matters. Morning anchor: start your day by reviewing your daily must-dos before you check your phone, email, or anything else. This is non-negotiable. You need to set your intention before the world sets it for you. Write your must-dos somewhere visible: paper, whiteboard, phone wallpaper. Make them unavoidable. Protected time blocks for each must-do. Block time on your calendar when you'll do it. Treat these blocks like important meetings that cannot be moved. If someone asks you to meet during your revenue-generating work, block you're busy. Period. You wouldn't cancel a meeting with your biggest client. Don't cancel your meeting with yourself. Daily shutdown: end each day by checking off your must-dos. Did you complete them? If yes, celebrate. You won the day. If no, why not? What got in the way? What needs to change tomorrow? This 5-minute review creates accountability and helps you spot patterns that derail you. Examples across different lives. Your daily must-dos will look different depending on your season of life and what you're focused on. The entrepreneur. Work on core business building for 2 hours, no email, no admin. Reach out to one potential client or partner. Move my body for 30 minutes. The corporate professional. Make progress on my top priority project before meetings start. Have one meaningful conversation with a colleague or mentor. Spend 30 minutes learning something that advances my career. The parent. Be fully present with my kids for 30 minutes, no phone. Do one thing that moves my personal goals forward. Take care of my body: exercise, healthy meal, or adequate sleep. The student. Study/work on assignments for 3 focused hours. Exercise or move for 30 minutes. Connect with someone in my life who matters. These are examples, not prescriptions. Your list is yours. The key is that it's short, specific, and directly tied to what matters most to you right now. When you miss a day, you will miss days. Something will come up. You'll get sick. A crisis will emerge. Life happens. Here's what you don't do: give up, decide you've failed, and abandon the whole system. Here's what you do: acknowledge it, understand why it happened, and get back on track tomorrow. One missed day doesn't erase weeks of consistency. The people who succeed long-term aren't the ones who never miss, they're the ones who miss rarely and recover quickly. If you miss your must-dos more than twice a week, something's wrong. Either your list is too ambitious, your priorities aren't actually clear, or you're not protecting your time effectively. Adjust accordingly. This system should make your life easier, not add more stress. The compound effect of daily must-dos. Here's what happens when you complete your daily must-dos consistently. After 1 week, you've taken 21 to 35 actions aligned with what matters most. You feel momentum. After 1 month, you've built habits. Your must-dos start feeling automatic rather than forced. After 3 months, you've made real progress. You can see tangible results from your consistency. After 1 year, you're a different person. You've executed on your priorities 1,095 times. While everyone else was scattered, you were focused. While they were busy, you were effective. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. Not through grand gestures or perfect plans, but through showing up every single day and doing a few important things well. Your daily must-dos are your North Star. When you don't know what to do next, do one of these. When you're overwhelmed, come back to these. When you're tempted to get distracted, protect these. Everything else is negotiable. These are not. Chapter 3. Focus is a choice. You know what matters. You know what you need to do daily. But there's a problem. The world is conspiring against your focus. Your phone buzzes. Slack messages pile up. Email floods your inbox. Social media beckons. Colleagues interrupt. News breaks. Somewhere, someone needs something from you right now. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people surrender their attention willingly. They blame technology, their job, their circumstances. But focus isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose, protect, and fight for every single day. Distractions are everywhere, but attention is a decision. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's once every 10 minutes during waking hours. They spend 2 to 3 hours daily on social media. They never go more than 15 minutes without some form of interruption. But here's what nobody wants to admit. You're choosing this. Yes, apps are designed to be addictive. Yes, workplaces encourage constant availability. Yes, the attention economy profits from your distraction. But ultimately, you're the one picking up your phone. You're the one leaving notifications on. You're the one checking email every 5 minutes. The first step to reclaiming focus is accepting responsibility. Not blame responsibility. This isn't about guilt, it's about power. When you blame external factors, you're powerless. When you accept that attention is your choice, you can do something about it. Every time you choose to check your phone during deep work, you're choosing distraction over progress. Every time you say yes to an unnecessary meeting, you're choosing others' priorities over yours. Every time you leave notifications on, you're choosing to let the world interrupt you. The good news? You can choose differently. How to protect your mental space. Your mind is like a workspace. When it's cluttered with distractions, you can't do meaningful work. When it's clear and protected, you can focus deeply and produce your best output. Here's how to create that protected space. Create physical barriers. Put your phone in another room during focus work. Not silent in another room. Research shows that the mere presence of your phone reduces cognitive capacity, even when it's off. Your brain is subconsciously monitoring it, waiting for the next hit of dopamine. Use website blockers during your must-do time. Freedom, cold turkey, or even built-in app limits. Make it impossible to access distracting sites during your protected hours. Establish focus rituals before deep work. Create a consistent ritual that signals to your brain. It's time to focus now. This might be making coffee, putting on specific music, or taking 3 deep breaths. It doesn't matter what it is, consistency matters. Your brain will learn that this ritual means focus time. Communicate boundaries. Tell people when you're unavailable. Set your status to focus mode or do not disturb. Close your door. Put on headphones. Let colleagues know you check messages at specific times, not constantly. Most people fear that setting boundaries will hurt their career or relationships. The opposite is true. When you protect your focus, you do better work and have more energy for genuine connection. People respect those who respect their own time. Batch distractions. You don't need to eliminate email, messages, or social media entirely. Just batch them. Check email 3 times a day instead of 30. Scroll social media once in the evening instead of continuously. Return calls in one block rather than throughout the day. When you cause distractions, they lose their power over you. You're choosing when to engage rather than being constantly reactive. Strategies to reduce noise and increase execution. Focus isn't just about blocking distractions, it's about creating an environment where deep work is easy and distraction is hard. The 2-minute rule, reversed. You've heard the productivity advice. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. For focus, flip this. If something takes less than 2 minutes, it's not important enough to interrupt your deep work. Batch it with other quick tasks later. Single tasking as a superpower. Multitasking is a myth. What you're actually doing is rapid task switching, and it destroys focus. Every time you switch tasks, it takes 15 to 25 minutes to regain full concentration. Practice single tasking religiously. 1 task. Full attention. Until completion or until your focus block ends. Nothing else exists during that time. The 90-minute focus block research shows that 90 minutes is the optimal length for deep focus before your brain needs a break. Work in 90-minute blocks, then take a real 15-minute break, not email, not social media, but actual rest. Walk, stretch, stare out the window, talk to someone. Most people never experience 90 minutes of uninterrupted focus. They don't know what they're capable of producing when they're truly locked in. Try it once and you'll never go back to scattered work sessions. The distraction log for 1 week. Keep a log every time you get distracted. What was the distraction? Was it external, someone interrupted, or internal, you chose to check something? What triggered it? This sounds tedious, but it's revealing. You'll discover patterns. Maybe you're most distracted right after lunch. Maybe certain people interrupt you constantly. Maybe you self-sabotage when work gets challenging. Once you see the patterns, you can address them. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. The hardest part. Here's what nobody tells you about focus. It's uncomfortable. Your brain has been trained for constant stimulation. When you first try to focus deeply, your mind will rebel. You'll feel restless, anxious, bored. You'll crave distraction like an addict craving their fix. This discomfort is not a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign that you're rewiring your brain. The more you practice focus, the easier it gets. But the beginning is hard. Most people experience this discomfort and conclude that deep work isn't for them. They return to constant distraction because it feels more comfortable. Don't be like most people. Sit with discomfort. Notice it. Acknowledge it. Keep focusing anyway. After a few weeks, your brain adapts. Focus becomes your default, and distraction becomes an uncomfortable state. Focus is your competitive advantage. In a world where everyone is distracted, focus is a superpower. While others are drowning in noise, you're doing deep work. While they're responding to every ping and ding, you're making real progress. While they're scattered, you're sharp. Focus isn't about working more hours. It's about getting more done in less time because you're actually present for the work. 2 hours of deep, focused work beats 8 hours of distracted, scattered effort every single time. The person who can focus for 4 to 6 hours a day will outperform someone working 12 hours in a distracted state. It's not even close. Your ability to focus is your ability to achieve anything meaningful. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your best life does. Chapter 4. Systems over motivation. Let me tell you something you already know. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you wake up fired up and ready to conquer the world. Other days you wake up tired, unmotivated, and wondering why you even bother. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. You can't control it, you can't depend on it, and you definitely can't build a meaningful life on it. So stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop believing that successful people are just more motivated than you. They're not. They've simply built systems that keep them moving forward whether they feel like it or not. Why motivation always fails you? Motivation is an emotion. Emotions are temporary. Basing your progress on motivation is like basing your transportation on whether you feel like walking. Some days you'll get where you're going, most days you won't. Here's what happens when you rely on motivation. You start strong on Monday, full of enthusiasm. By Wednesday, the excitement fades and work feels harder. By Friday, you've lost momentum entirely. By next Monday, you're starting over from scratch. This cycle repeats endlessly. You never build real momentum because you keep starting and stopping based on how you feel. It's exhausting and ineffective. The people crushing their goals aren't more motivated than you. They're just more systematic. They've removed willpower from the equation by creating structures that make execution automatic. Creating routines that keep you moving forward. A system is a reliable method for producing a desired result. It's not complicated, it's just consistent. The best systems are so simple they feel boring. That's the point. Your morning system. Most people start their day in reactive mode. They grab their phone, check messages, scroll social media, and let the world set their agenda. By the time they're ready to work on what matters, they're already mentally depleted and responding to everyone else's priorities. A morning system changes this. It's a sequence of actions you do every morning, in the same order, regardless of how you feel. It might look like: wake up at the same time, even weekends. Drink water and stretch for 5 minutes. Review your daily must-dos. Work on your most important must-do for 90 minutes before checking any messages. Then and only then, engage with email, messages, and other reactive work. This system ensures that every single day, you make progress on what matters before the chaos begins. You're not relying on motivation or willpower, you're just following your system. Your work system for your must-do work. Create a consistent process. Same time every day. Same location when possible. Same pre-work ritual, coffee, music, deep breaths, whatever signals, focus time, to your brain. Same duration, 90-minute blocks work best. Same shutdown routine when finished. When you systematize your work, you remove dozens of micro-decisions that drain willpower. You're not deciding when to work or where to work or how to start, you just execute your system. Your evening system ends your day with a consistent routine that creates closure and sets you up for tomorrow. Review what you accomplished today. Write tomorrow's daily must-dos. Close all work tabs and apps. Physical transition, change clothes, leave workspace, take a short walk. Engage with your evening non-negotiables, family time, hobbies, rest. This system prevents work from bleeding into your personal life and ensures you start each day with clarity rather than chaos. Building habits that make execution automatic. Habits are the ultimate system. When something becomes habitual, you do it without thinking. It costs zero willpower. It just happens. The key to building lasting habits isn't motivation or discipline, it's making them so easy you can't fail. Start absurdly small. Want to exercise daily? Don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to putting on workout clothes. That's it. Once the clothes are on, you'll probably exercise. But the commitment is just clothes. Want to write daily? Don't commit to 1,000 words. Commit to opening your document and writing one sentence. Most days you'll write more. But the commitment is just one sentence. This approach removes the mental resistance that stops most habits before they start. Your brain doesn't resist small actions. It resists big, ambiguous commitments. Stack your habits. Attach new habits to existing routines. After I make coffee, I review my must-dos. After lunch, I go for a 10-minute walk. After I close my laptop, I text someone I care about. When you stack habits onto things you already do consistently, they become automatic much faster. Track completion, not perfection. Use a simple tracking method. Check marks on a calendar, an app, a notebook. Just mark whether you did the thing. Don't judge the quality. Don't track metrics. Just, did I do it? Yes or no. This creates a visual chain of consistency that motivates you to keep going. After a week of check marks, you don't want to break the streak. What to do when systems break down? Your systems will fail sometimes. You'll get sick. You'll travel. Life will throw you into chaos. When this happens, don't abandon the system, simplify it. If you can't do your full morning routine, do a 5-minute version. If you can't work on your must-dos for 90 minutes, work for 20. If you can't exercise for 30 minutes, do 5. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. A simplified system is infinitely better than no system. Do something, even if it's the minimum version. Keep the habit alive. The compounding power of systems. Here's what happens when you operate from systems instead of motivation. Week 1. Your system feels forced and uncomfortable, but you stick to it because it's simple and clear. Month 1. Your system starts feeling normal. You don't debate whether to do it, you just do it. Month 3. Your system is automatic. You'd feel weird not following it. Month 6. Your system has produced real results. You've completed your must-dos 180 times while motivated people completed theirs 20 times, on the days they felt like it. Year 1. You've transformed your life not through motivation, but through daily execution of simple systems. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. Not through bursts of motivation, but through boring consistency executed by reliable systems. Your assignment. Stop asking, "How do I stay motivated?" Start asking, "What system can I build that works even when I'm not motivated?" Design one simple system this week. What's the trigger? Time, location, or existing habit? What's the action? The smallest version of what you want to do. What's the reward? Check mark, quick win, how you'll feel after. Build that one system. Follow it for 30 days, no matter how you feel. Then build another. Systems beat motivation every single time. Stop waiting to feel like it. Build systems that work regardless. Chapter 5. Time isn't the problem, attention is. I don't have enough time. You've said this. Everyone has. It's the default excuse for why we're not making progress, not achieving our goals, not living the life we want. But here's the uncomfortable truth: you have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The person crushing their goals, building their business, staying fit, and maintaining great relationships has the exact same amount of time you do. The difference isn't time, it's attention. You have enough time. Let's do some math. You sleep 7 to 8 hours. You work 8 to 10 hours. That leaves 6 to 9 hours per day. Even accounting for eating, commuting, and basic life maintenance, you have 3 to 5 hours daily for what matters to you. That's 21 to 35 hours per week. Over 1,000 hours per year. Now ask yourself, where are those hours going? If you tracked every single hour for a week, how much would be spent on activities that actually align with your non-negotiables? How many would be spent on social media, Netflix, aimless web browsing, meetings that don't matter, and obligations you don't care about? The problem isn't that you don't have time. The problem is that you're giving your time and, more importantly, your attention to things that don't deserve it. The attention economy is stealing from you. Every app, website, and platform you use is designed by teams of psychologists and engineers whose entire job is capturing and holding your attention. They're very good at it. You think you're just taking a quick break on social media. 30 minutes later, you've scrolled through hundreds of posts, learned nothing of value, and feel vaguely worse about your life. The algorithm won, and you lost 30 minutes you can never get back. Multiply this by every distraction in your day. Email that could wait. Messages that aren't urgent. Videos that autoplay. Articles that pop up. Before you know it, hours of your life have been extracted from you, and you have nothing to show for it. This isn't a judgment, it's reality. The attention economy generates billions of dollars by monetizing your focus. Your attention is valuable. The question is, are you going to profit from it, or are they? Guarding your calendar from low-value tasks. Your calendar is a direct reflection of your priorities. Show me your calendar and I'll show you what you actually care about, regardless of what you say matters. Most people treat their calendars as passive receptacles for whatever anyone wants to put there. Someone sends a meeting invite? Accepted. Someone asks for coffee? Sure. Someone needs a favor? Okay. Before long, your calendar is full of other people's priorities and you're wondering why you have no time for yours. Here's how to take your calendar back. The priority block time for your daily must-dos first, before anyone else can claim that time. Treat these blocks as unmovable meetings with your most important client, yourself. If someone tries to schedule over a priority block, you're busy. You don't need to explain what you're busy with. I have a commitment during that time, is a complete sentence. The meeting filter before accepting any meeting, ask 3 questions. Is my presence truly necessary, or can I get the information another way? Does this meeting advance any of my non-negotiables? Could this be handled with an email or 5-minute conversation instead? If the answer to any of these is no, decline. Your time is too valuable to spend in meetings that don't matter. The buffer zones never book yourself completely solid. Leave buffer time between commitments. This gives you space to think, process, transition, and handle unexpected issues without derailing your entire day. People who rush from one thing to the next, perpetually behind and stressed, aren't busier than you, They just failed to build buffers into their calendar. Saying no with confidence. The single most important skill for protecting your attention is the ability to say no. Not maybe. Not, let me check. Not a guilt-ridden, apologetic no. A clear, confident, guilt-free no. Every yes to something that doesn't matter is a no to something that does. When you say yes to every request, meeting, and obligation, you're saying no to your most important work, to your health, to time with people you love. The straightforward no. Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't commit to this right now. You don't owe anyone an elaborate explanation. You don't need to justify your choices or list your other obligations. A simple, respectful no is sufficient. The redirect no. This isn't aligned with my current focus, but you might try someone else. If you want to be helpful without saying yes, point them towards someone else who might be interested. The later no. I'm at capacity right now, but feel free to reach out in specific time frame if it's still relevant. This sets a boundary while leaving the door open for future opportunities that might align better. The practice saying no feels uncomfortable at first, especially if you're a habitual people pleaser. Practice with low-stakes situations. Decline a social invitation you don't really want to attend. Skip an optional meeting. Say no to the extra project at work. With each no, you'll realize the world doesn't end. People respect clear boundaries more than they respect overcommit people who say yes but deliver mediocre results. The real time management. Time management isn't about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about ruthlessly protecting your attention for what truly matters and refusing to let everything else steal it. You have enough time. You've always had enough time. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Starting today, treat your attention like the finite, valuable resource it is. Guard your calendar. Say no to what doesn't matter. Reclaim the hours you've been giving away. Your goals aren't time-constrained, they're attention-constrained. Fix that, and suddenly, you'll have all the time you need. Chapter 6. Energy Management for Execution. You can have perfect clarity, rock-solid systems, and a pristine calendar, but if you're exhausted, none of it matters. You can't execute when you're running on empty. Most people approach productivity like it's purely about time management. They try to pack more into their days, work longer hours, and push through when they're tired. Then they wonder why they burn out, why their work quality suffers, why they feel perpetually drained. Here's what they're missing. Doing more isn't about working longer, it's about working smarter. And working smarter starts with managing your energy, not just your time. The energy truth. You don't have the same energy all day. Your capacity for focus, creativity, and execution fluctuates throughout the day based on your natural rhythms, your sleep, your nutrition, your stress levels, and dozens of other factors. Trying to do deep, focused work when your energy is at its lowest is like trying to sprint uphill with a backpack full of rocks. You can do it, but it's inefficient and miserable. Instead, you need to understand your energy patterns and plan your day around them. Do your most important work when your energy is highest. Save low-energy tasks for low-energy times. Rest when you need to rest. This isn't about being lazy, it's about being strategic. Elite athletes don't train at maximum intensity 24/7. They train hard, recover, train hard again. Your brain works the same way. Understanding your energy peaks. Most people have two energy peaks during the day, mid-morning, roughly 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and late afternoon, roughly 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. There's typically an energy dip after lunch, which is why early afternoon often feels sluggish. But these are averages. Your patterns might be different. Maybe you're a true morning person who peaks at 6 a.m. Maybe you're a night owl whose best work happens at 10 p.m. Maybe your energy is consistent throughout the day. The only way to know is to pay attention. For 1 week, rate your energy level every hour on a scale of 1 to 10. Notice when you feel sharp and focused versus when you feel foggy and slow. Look for patterns. Once you know your patterns, you can plan accordingly. Planning around your energy. Your daily must-dos from Chapter 2 shouldn't just be on your calendar, they should be scheduled during your peak energy times. If your most important work requires deep focus and your energy peaks at 9 a.m., that's when you do it. Not at 3 p.m. when you're tired. Not at 7 p.m. after a full day of work. At 9 a.m. when you're sharp. This seems obvious, but most people do it backward. They waste their peak energy on email, meetings, and reactive tasks. Then they try to do deep work in the afternoon when they're depleted. No wonder progress feels hard. Match tasks to energy levels. High energy peak hours. Deep, focused work on your must dose. Creative thinking and problem solving. Important decisions. Learning new skills. Difficult conversations. Medium energy. Emails and messages. Routine work tasks. Planning and organizing. Less demanding meetings. Administrative work. Low energy. Reading and light research. Simple, repetitive tasks. Organizing files or workspace. Casual brainstorming. Light exercise like walking. Stop trying to force deep work during low energy times. You're just making yourself miserable and producing mediocre results. Save those hours for tasks that match your energy level. Recharging rituals that keep you sharp. Managing energy isn't just about using it strategically, it's about replenishing it consistently. You can't constantly deplete without refilling. That's called burnout. The strategic break: most people either never take breaks or take terrible breaks. They scroll social media, check email, or browse the internet, activities that drain mental energy rather than restore it. Real breaks restore energy. Walk outside, even 5 minutes helps. Talk to someone you like. Do something with your hands, stretch, make tea, doodle. Stare out the window and let your mind wander. Take a real nap, 15 to 20 minutes, not 2 hours. The key is to completely disengage from work. Your brain needs actual rest, not a different kind of stimulation. The physical foundation: you can have high mental energy with low physical energy. Your body and brain are connected. Neglect one and the other suffers. Non-negotiable energy foundations. Sleep 7 to 8 hours consistently. Move your body daily, even a walk counts. Eat real food that fuels you, not junk that crashes you. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Get sunlight, especially in the morning. These aren't optional productivity hacks. They're fundamental requirements for sustained energy. Skip them and wonder why you're tired, or honor them and watch your energy transform. The recovery rhythm: you can't sprint forever. High performers don't work at maximum intensity constantly, they work in cycles. Intense focus followed by recovery. Push followed by rest. Build recovery into your week. One day where you do minimal work and maximum rest. One evening per week completely screen-free. Regular activities that recharge you: hobbies, time with loved ones, being in nature. This isn't wasted time, it's maintenance time. Without it, your performance degrades slowly until you hit a wall. The energy drains. Just as important as what gives you energy is knowing what drains it unnecessarily. Energy vampires. People who constantly complain or create drama. Toxic work environments. Clutter and disorganization. Multitasking and constant context switching. Negative self-talk and rumination. News and social media doom scrolling. Saying yes when you want to say no. Pay attention to what leaves you feeling drained. Then minimize it ruthlessly. Life is too short to spend your energy on things that deplete you without providing value. The sustainable pace. The goal isn't to maximize every hour of every day. The goal is to sustain high performance over years, not weeks. This means accepting that some days will be lower energy than others. Some weeks will be harder than others. That's normal. You don't need to feel guilty about it or try to force maximum productivity when you're running on fumes. On low energy days, do the minimum. Complete your must dose in their simplest form, then rest. You're not failing, you're being smart. Tomorrow, when your energy returns, you'll execute at a higher level. The people who burn bright for a month and then crash for 3 months don't win. The people who maintain a sustainable pace for years do. Your energy system. Design your day and week around energy management. Identify your peak energy hours. Schedule must-dos during peaks. Build in strategic breaks. Honor your physical needs. Eliminate unnecessary energy drains. Build recovery into your rhythm. When you manage your energy well, everything else gets easier. Focus improves. Execution accelerates. Progress compounds. And you feel better while doing it. Stop managing time and start managing energy. That's where real productivity lies. Chapter 7. Ruthless Prioritization. Here's a hard truth. Most of what you spend your time on doesn't matter. Not in a nihilistic, nothing matters way, but in a practical, results-oriented way. Most tasks, projects, and obligations produce minimal results. They keep you busy without moving your life forward. They fill your days but empty your progress. The difference between people who achieve their goals and people who stay stuck isn't effort, it's prioritization. Successful people don't do more things. They do fewer things that matter more. This chapter is about becoming ruthless with your priorities. Not cruel, not reckless, ruthless. Willing to cut what doesn't serve you, even when it's good, so you can focus on what's great. Not all tasks are equal. If you haven't heard of the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, here it is: roughly 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. This plays out everywhere. 20% of your clients generate 80% of your revenue. 20% of your work produces 80% of your value. 20% of your relationships provide 80% of your fulfillment. 20% of your daily tasks create 80% of your progress. Most people spread their effort equally across everything. They give as much attention to low-value tasks as high-value ones. They treat every email as equally urgent, every request as equally important, every opportunity as equally valuable. This is why they work hard but see minimal results. They're spending 80% of their time on activities that generate only 20% of their outcomes. The solution? Identify the 20% that matters and give it 80% of your attention. Be ruthless about minimizing or eliminating everything else. The Eisenhower Matrix. President Eisenhower had a simple framework for prioritization, and it's still one of the best. Quadrant 1, urgent and important. These are crisis situations, deadlines, emergencies. They demand immediate attention. Examples: a major client issue, a health problem, an actual emergency. Quadrant 2, not urgent but important. This is where transformation happens. Strategic planning, relationship building, exercise, learning, working on your most important goals. These activities don't scream for attention, but they create the future you want. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important. Interruptions, most emails, many meetings, other people's minor crises. These feel urgent but don't actually advance your goals. They're where most people waste most of their time. Quadrant 4, not urgent and not important. Time wasters. Mindless scrolling, excessive TV, busy work. Pure distraction with no redeeming value. Here's how most people spend their time. Too much in quadrants 3 and 4, some in quadrant 1, because they neglected quadrant 2, and almost none in quadrant 2. Here's how high performers spend their time. Most of it in quadrant 2, some in quadrant 1 when necessary, minimal time in quadrant 3, and zero time in quadrant 4. The key is recognizing that quadrant 2 activities, the non-urgent but important work, are what actually build the life you want. But they'll never feel urgent, so you have to prioritize them intentionally. Eliminate, delegate, or delay. For every task on your plate, ask 3 questions. Can I eliminate this entirely? Many tasks exist only because we've always done it this way, or because someone asked once, and it became a habit. Question everything. If removing a task would have zero negative impact, stop doing it. Can someone else do this? If you can't eliminate it but it's not in your zone of highest value, delegate it. This doesn't mean you need employees. You can delegate to apps, automation, services, or colleagues. Your time is valuable. If something can be done 80% as well by someone else, let them do it. Save your energy for work only you can do. Can this wait? Not everything that needs to be done now. Most urgent things aren't actually urgent, they're just being presented that way. Ask, What happens if this doesn't get done this week? This month? Often the answer is nothing significant. Then it can wait while you focus on what actually matters. The one thing. Here's a powerful prioritization exercise from Gary Keller's book The One Thing. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? Not 5 things. Not 3 things. One thing. This question cuts through the noise and identifies what actually moves the needle. Everything else is secondary. For your career, what's the one skill that would make you dramatically more valuable? For your health, what's the one habit that would transform your well-being? For your relationships, what's the one behavior that would deepen your connections? Once you identify your one thing, protect time for it every single day. Make it your first must-do. Everything else happens after. Learning to say no? We covered this in Chapter 5, but it bears repeating. Ruthless prioritization requires ruthless boundary setting. Every opportunity isn't your opportunity. Every request doesn't deserve your yes. Every good idea isn't good for you. You need to say no to projects that don't align with your goals, meetings that waste your time, commitments that drain your energy, opportunities that distract from your priorities. People who can't say no end up with calendars full of other people's priorities and no time for their own. Don't be that person. The priority audit. Right now, make a list of everything you're currently committed to. Every project, obligation, regular task, meeting, and activity. For each item, ask, does this directly advance any of my non-negotiables? Am I the only person who can do this? Would my life or work suffer significantly if I stop doing this? If you answer no to any of these questions, that item is a candidate for elimination or delegation. Be honest. Be ruthless. You'll probably find that 50% or more of what's on your plate doesn't need to be there. This is terrifying for some people. They've built their identity around being busy, being needed, being the person who does everything. Letting go feels like losing part of themselves. But here's the truth, you're not on your to-do list. Your worth isn't measured by how much you do, it's measured by how much that matters you accomplish. The freedom of focus. When you ruthlessly prioritize, something magical happens. You have space. Space to think. Space to do deep work. Space to rest. Space to be present with people you love. You stop feeling perpetually behind and overwhelmed. You stop working all the time but never get anywhere. You start making real progress on things that actually matter. This is what focus feels like. Not cramming more into your days, but doing less, much less with far more impact. Most people will never experience this because they can't say no. They can't cut good opportunities to make space for great ones. They can't let go of busy work that makes them feel productive but produces nothing of value. You can be different. You can prioritize ruthlessly. You can focus on the 20% that generates 80% of your results. Cut everything else. Don't apologize for it. And watch what you're capable of when you stop spreading yourself thin. Chapter 8. Showing up when it's hard. Everything we've covered so far, clarity, systems, focus, prioritization, works beautifully when conditions are ideal. When you're healthy, energized, and motivated. When life is cooperating. But life doesn't cooperate for long. You'll get sick. Projects will fail. Relationships will struggle. Money will get tight. Motivation will evaporate. Energy will crash. Progress will stall. This is when most people quit. Not dramatically, they just slowly drift away from their commitments. They skip one day, then another, then a week, then they're back where they started. Here's what separates the people who achieve their goals from the people who don't. They show up when it's hard. They execute when they don't feel like it. They keep going when progress feels impossible. This chapter is about discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. When motivation crashes. Remember Chapter 4? Motivation is unreliable. But knowing that intellectually doesn't make it easier when you wake up and feel absolutely zero desire to work on your goals. On these days, you have two choices. Wait for motivation to return, it might not. Execute anyway. High performers choose option 2. Not because they're superhuman, but because they know something you might not. Action creates motivation more often than motivation creates action. When you don't feel like working out but you do it anyway, you usually feel better afterward. When you don't feel like working on your project but you start anyway, you usually get into flow within 10 minutes. The hardest part is starting. Once you're moving, momentum builds. But you never get there if you wait to feel motivated first. On days when motivation is gone, commit to the minimum. I'll just do 10 minutes. Start with the easiest part of the task. Focus on process, not outcome. I'm here, I'm working, that's enough. Remember why you started in the first place. You don't need to feel good about it. You just need to do it. When energy drops. Some seasons of life are just exhausting. Maybe you're dealing with a health issue. Maybe work is unusually demanding. Maybe you're going through a crisis. Maybe you're just burned out. During these times, trying to maintain your normal pace will break you. But abandoning everything will derail you. The solution: scale down, don't give up. If you can't do your full morning routine, do 5 minutes. If you can't work on your must-dos for 90 minutes, work for 20. If you can't exercise for 30 minutes, do 5. The goal during low-energy periods isn't to maintain peak performance, it's to maintain the habit. Keep showing up, even in a reduced capacity. Keep the streak alive. Keep the system running, even at minimum power. When your energy returns, you'll still be in the game. You haven't started from zero. You've just been playing defense for a while. When setbacks hit. Setbacks are inevitable. You will fail. Projects will collapse. Goals will be missed. Efforts will not pay off as expected. This is not a sign that you should quit. It's a sign that you're actually trying things that matter. People who never experience setbacks aren't winning, they're playing it safe. They're not putting themselves in situations where failure is possible. That's not success, it's stagnation. When you hit a setback, acknowledge it honestly. Don't minimize it or pretend it doesn't hurt. Setbacks suck. It's okay to feel disappointed. Separate the setback from your identity. You're not a failure. You experienced a failure. Big difference. Extract the lesson. What can you learn? What would you do differently? Setbacks are expensive lessons, don't waste them by ignoring what they can teach you. Adjust and continue. Maybe your approach needs to change. Maybe your timeline needs to extend. Maybe your strategy needs refining. But the goal? The goal stays. Most people quit after 1 or 2 setbacks. They decide they're not cut out for it, or it's not meant to be. Winners hit the same setbacks, they just keep going. When progress feels slow. Here's something nobody tells you about pursuing meaningful goals. Progress is usually invisible for a long time. You work out for weeks before you see physical changes. You study for months before you feel competent. You build for years before you see significant results. During this invisible progress phase, it's easy to feel like you're failing. You're putting in effort but seeing minimal results. You're showing up every day but nothing seems to be changing. This is the critical point where most people quit. They're 3 months, 6 months, 9 months into consistent effort, and they can't see the progress, so they assume it's not working. But progress is happening. It's just compounding beneath the surface. Think of it like this. Imagine you have an ice cube sitting in a room that's 25 degrees. You add heat, raising the temperature to 26, 27, 28 degrees. The ice cube looks exactly the same. You keep adding heat, 29, 30, 31 degrees. Still no change. Then you hit 32 degrees, and suddenly the ice starts melting. Did the heat at 32 degrees work better than the heat at 26? No. It's just that all the previous heat was necessary to reach the tipping point. Your consistent effort is the heat. The results are the melting ice. Just because you can't see the temperature rising doesn't mean nothing's happening. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. The compound interest of consistent effort is real, but it takes longer to manifest than you think. The discipline mindset. Discipline isn't about punishment or forcing yourself to suffer. It's about remembering why you started when the beginning excitement is long gone. It's about trusting your past self, the one who had clarity, and set these goals more than your present self who's tired and wants to quit. It's about understanding that feelings are temporary but results are cumulative. On hard days, remind yourself, I don't have to feel good about this, I just have to do it. I've never regretted showing up, even when I didn't want to. This is where discipline is built, in the moments when it's hardest. Everyone faces this. Winners just don't quit. The reward is who you become. Here's the real benefit of showing up when it's hard. It changes you. Every time you execute when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself that you're someone who follows through. You build trust with yourself. You become the kind of person who doesn't need perfect conditions to make progress. This self-trust is more valuable than any external achievement. Because once you know you're someone who shows up regardless, you become unstoppable. Goals will change. Circumstances will shift. But the person you become through consistent discipline? That stays with you forever. Show up when it's hard. That's when champions are built. Chapter 9. Measuring what actually matters. You've been showing up. You've been executing your daily must-dos. You've been focused and consistent. But how do you know if it's working? How do you measure progress in a way that keeps you motivated without making you obsessed with outcomes you can't fully control? This is where most people go wrong. They either don't measure anything and drift aimlessly, or they measure the wrong things and get discouraged when results don't appear on their timeline. Smart measurement isn't about obsessing over numbers. It's about tracking what matters, celebrating progress, and using data to refine your approach. Execution over outcomes. Here's a fundamental truth about goals. You can't always control outcomes, but you can always control execution. You can't control whether you land the client, but you can control whether you reach out to 10 potential clients this week. You can't control whether you lose 10 pounds this month, but you can control whether you exercise and eat well every day. You can't control whether your project succeeds, but you can control whether you work on it consistently. This is why smart people measure inputs, execution, more than outputs, results. Track what you control. Did I complete my daily must-dos? Yes/no. Did I work on my priority for X hours? Actual time. Did I show up consistently? Days in a row. Don't obsess over what you don't control. Final results, they take time to manifest. Other people's responses or decisions. External circumstances. When you measure execution, you're measuring your commitment and consistency. When you measure only outcomes, you're measuring factors often beyond your control. One builds confidence and momentum. The other creates anxiety and frustration. The power of streak tracking. One of the simplest and most effective measurement systems is tracking streaks. How many days in a row have you completed your must-dos? Get a calendar. Mark an X on every day you complete your must-dos. Your only goal? Don't break the chain. This works because it's visual. You can see your progress accumulating. It's motivating. After 10 days, you don't want to reset to 0. It's honest. You can't fake consistency. It's simple. Anyone can track a streak. After a month of unbroken execution, you have powerful evidence that you're someone who follows through. After 3 months, you have proof that you can maintain consistency. After 6 months, you've become the type of person who shows up every damn day. The streak isn't the goal, consistent execution is. But the streak makes the invisible progress visible. Celebrating small wins. Most people only celebrate major milestones, the completed project, the achieved goal, the big win. Then they wonder why they feel unmotivated during the long, unglamorous middle period. High performers celebrate small wins regularly. They recognize progress at every stage, not just at the finish line. What counts as a win? Completing your must-dos for the day. Maintaining your streak for a full week. Showing up on a day you really didn't want to. Making progress on something difficult. Learning from a setback and adjusting course. You don't need a celebration party. Just a moment of acknowledgement. I did what I said I would do today. That matters. This isn't about participation trophies or fake positivity. It's about reinforcing the behaviors that lead to success. When you acknowledge your effort, your brain releases dopamine, which makes you more likely to repeat the behavior. You're literally rewiring yourself for consistency. Weekly review and reflection. Measurement isn't useful if you never look at the data. Set aside 15 minutes every week to review your progress. What went well this week? Which must-dos did you complete consistently? What felt easier or more automatic? What progress did you make, however small? What didn't go well? Which must-dos did you miss? What got in the way? What patterns do you notice? What will you adjust next week? Do you need to simplify something? Do you need to protect your time differently? Is there a persistent obstacle you need to address? This review turns measurement into improvement. You're not just collecting data, you're using it to refine your approach. Leading versus lagging indicators. Understand the difference between leading and lagging indicators. Leading indicators are the actions you take today that predict future success. They're the inputs: hours worked, must-dos completed, skills practiced, connections made. Lagging indicators are the results that show up later: revenue generated, weight lost, projects completed, goals achieved. Most people obsess over lagging indicators and get frustrated when they don't change quickly. Smart people focus on leading indicators because those are what they control. If your leading indicators are solid, if you're consistently executing your must-dos, the lagging indicators will eventually follow. But it takes time. Trust the process. When to adjust your measures. Not every measure you start with will be useful. Some metrics are vanity metrics. They make you feel good but don't reflect real progress. Good metrics directly connect to your non-negotiables. Are within your control. Provide useful feedback for improvement. Vanity metrics feel impressive but don't indicate real progress. Social media followers, busy work completed, hours logged without clear output. Are outside your control. Don't help you improve your process. If you're tracking something that doesn't help you make better decisions, stop tracking it. Measurement should clarify, not complicate. Progress photos for your life. Just like fitness progress photos show gradual physical transformation, you need evidence of your gradual life transformation. This might mean keeping a simple journal of daily wins. Saving examples of your work from different months to see improvement. Taking note of skills you couldn't do 6 months ago but can do now. Recording moments when your new habits felt automatic instead of forced. When you're in the middle of the journey, progress feels invisible. These progress photos help you see how far you've actually come. The Compound Progress Review. Every quarter, 3 months, do a bigger review. Look at your weekly data and ask, am I working on the right things, or do my non-negotiables need to evolve? Are my must-dos still relevant, or should they change? What's working better than expected? What's not working and needs to be eliminated or reimagined? Am I fundamentally a different person than I was 3 months ago? This quarterly review helps you zoom out and see the bigger picture. You're not just executing blindly, you're evolving intentionally. The real measurement. At the end of every day, there's really only one question that matters. Did I do what I said I would do? Not. Did I achieve my ultimate goal today? Not. Did I become successful today? Just, did I show up and execute my must-dos? If yes, you won the day. String together enough winning days, and you win your life. Measure what matters. Celebrate progress. Refine your approach. Keep going. That's the formula for compounding success. Chapter 10. Making it last forever. You've built clarity. You've created systems. You've learned to focus, prioritize, and show up when it's hard. You've made more progress in the last few months than you did in the previous year. Now comes the real question: how do you make this last? Because here's what happens to most people. They build momentum, see results, and then slowly drift back to old habits. 3 months of excellence followed by 3 years of mediocrity. They prove they can do it, but they don't sustain it. This chapter is about making Every damn day. Not just a phase, but a permanent operating system for your life. Consistency isn't a phase, it's a lifestyle. The difference between temporary transformation and permanent change is simple. Temporary transformation happens when you follow a program. Permanent change happens when you become a different person. You've been following the principles in this book. You've been executing your must-dos, protecting your focus, and showing up consistently. But at some point, this needs to stop being something you do and start being who you are. You're not someone trying to be disciplined. You're someone who shows up every damn day. You're not working on being focused. You're a focused person. You're not attempting to prioritize. You prioritize ruthlessly because that's who you are. This identity shift is crucial. When discipline is something you do, it requires constant willpower. When it's who you are, it becomes automatic. How to evolve as your goals change. Here's something important. Your goals will change, and that's not just okay, it's necessary. The non-negotiables that matter to you at 25 will be different at 35, and different again at 45. The career that excites you today might feel hollow in 5 years. The fitness goals that drove you last year might not resonate anymore. This isn't failure or lack of commitment. It's growth. The every damn day mindset doesn't mean doing the same things forever. It means consistently aligning your daily actions with what matters most to you right now, and being willing to adjust as you evolve. The quarterly evolution check. Every 3 months, revisit your non-negotiables. Are these still what matter most to me? Has my life situation changed in ways that require different priorities? Am I still excited about these goals, or am I executing on autopilot out of habit? If your priorities have shifted, adjust. Update your must-dos. Redesign your systems. There's no shame in changing direction when your life changes. The key is to make intentional shifts, not drift aimlessly. You're not abandoning the discipline, you're redirecting it toward what matters now. Guarding against complacency. Success creates its own problems. When you've been consistent for months or years, it's easy to become complacent. You coast. You stop pushing yourself. You maintain but don't grow. Watch for these warning signs. Your must-dos feel routine and uninspiring. You're going through the motions without real engagement. Progress has plateaued. You're no longer being challenged. If you notice these signs, it's time to level up. Add a new challenge. Raise your standards. Set a bigger goal. The system stays the same: clarity, focus, execution, but the target evolves. Building resilience for the long term. Sustainability requires resilience. You need the ability to bounce back from setbacks, handle change, and keep going when things get hard, not just once, but repeatedly over decades. Resilience builders. Multiple areas of focus. Don't tie your entire identity to one goal. If you're only focused on your career and your job situation changes, you're devastated. But if you're also focused on health, relationships, and growth, you have other pillars of meaning. A strong support system. Surround yourself with people who support your commitment to consistency. Join communities of people pursuing similar goals. Find an accountability partner. Share your journey. Regular recovery. You can't go hard every day for years without breaking. Build rest into your rhythm. Take vacations. Have easy weeks. Maintain intensity over time by not maintaining maximum intensity all the time. Adaptability. Life will throw chaos at you. The people who last are those who can adapt their systems without abandoning their principles. Flexible in tactics, firm in commitment. The identity reinforcement loop. Every time you execute your must-dos, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through. Every time you show up when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you're disciplined. Every time you prioritize ruthlessly, you confirm that you value your time. This creates a reinforcement loop. You act consistently, you see yourself as consistent, you act consistently. The longer you maintain this loop, the stronger your identity becomes. After years of daily execution, the idea of not showing up feels foreign. It's not who you are anymore. This is when it becomes permanent. You're not following a system, you are the system. Passing it on. One of the most powerful ways to cement your own commitment is to help others develop theirs. When you teach these principles, you reinforce them for yourself. When you hold others accountable, you hold yourself accountable. Share what you've learned. Mentor someone who's struggling with focus and consistency. Model the behavior you want to see. Show people what's possible when you commit to doing what matters every damn day. This isn't just altruism, it's strategic. The best way to guarantee you'll live these principles is to become known for living them. The lifelong commitment. Making it last forever isn't about perfection. You'll have bad days. You'll miss your must-dose occasionally. You'll have periods where you're just surviving, not thriving. That's fine. The goal isn't perfection, it's persistence. What forever actually means: returning to your systems after disruptions. Maintaining the core habit of clarity and execution even when specifics change. Viewing setbacks as temporary detours, not permanent failures. Continuing to show up long after the initial motivation has faded. You're building a life, not completing a program. Programs end. Lives continue. Your future self. Imagine yourself in 10 years. Not as a fantasy version who magically achieved everything without effort, but as the actual result of showing up and executing every damn day for a decade. What would that person have accomplished? What would they have learned? Who would they have become? That person exists in a possible future. The only question is whether you'll become them. Every day, you're either moving toward that future self or away from them. Every day, you're either reinforcing the identity of someone who executes consistently or someone who doesn't follow through. 10 years will pass regardless. The question is, who will you be when they do? The forever mindset. Consistency isn't something you do until you achieve your goal. It's how you live. You don't build a business and then stop working. You don't get fit and then stop exercising. You don't build great relationships and then stop investing in them. Everything worth having requires ongoing maintenance. The every damn day mindset recognizes this. It's not about reaching a destination, it's about embracing the journey as your permanent way of life. This might sound exhausting to some people. They want the finish line. They want to arrive and be done. But high performers know the truth. There is no finish line. There's only the next level. And the people who thrive are those who find joy in the daily practice, not just the distant outcome. Make it last. You've learned the system. You've started executing. You've seen what you're capable of when you focus on what matters and cut everything else. Now commit to making it permanent. Not because you have to. Because you want to. Because you've experienced the alternative: scattered focus, wasted time, unrealized potential, and you're never going back. You're someone who shows up every damn day. Not perfectly. Not always at maximum intensity. But consistently. Reliably. For the long term. That's how you build a life that matters. That's how you become who you're meant to be. That's how you win. Conclusion. Make today count. You've reached the end of this book, but you're at the beginning of something much more important: the rest of your life, lived with intention, clarity, and relentless execution. Let's bring it all together. Why staying focused changes everything. Your life is the sum of what you pay attention to. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, and your results follow. Most people never realize this. They let their attention get pulled in 1,000 directions. They react to whatever's loudest, newest, or most urgent. They work hard but on the wrong things. They stay busy but never make meaningful progress. Then they wonder why their goals remain dreams, why their potential stays untapped, why they feel perpetually exhausted but unfulfilled. The answer is always the same: scattered focus. When you focus on what matters and cut everything else, everything changes. You make more progress in 3 months than most people make in 3 years. You stop feeling overwhelmed because you're not trying to do everything. You build momentum that compounds over time. You develop confidence from consistently following through. You become someone you respect because you do what you say you'll do. This isn't magic. It's math. It's the inevitable result of consistent execution on the right things. The path you've learned. This book gave you a simple framework. Get clear on what matters, Chapter 1. Define your daily must-dos that align with those priorities, Chapter 2. Protect your focus from constant distraction, Chapter 3. Build systems that work when motivation doesn't, Chapter 4. Guard your time and attention ruthlessly, Chapter 5. Manage your energy so you can sustain effort, Chapter 6. Prioritize ruthlessly using proven frameworks, Chapter 7. Show up when it's hard because that's when discipline is built, Chapter 8. Measure what matters and celebrate progress, Chapter 9. Make it permanent by evolving as you grow, Chapter 10. This framework works. Not because it's complicated or revolutionary, but because it's simple and executable. You don't need fancy tools or perfect conditions. You just need clarity and commitment. Living with intention. Intentional living means making conscious choices about how you spend your days rather than defaulting to whatever happens. It means asking, "Does this matter?" before saying yes. It means protecting time for what's important before filling your calendar with what's urgent. It means choosing to focus on a few things that move your life forward rather than staying busy with many things that don't. Most people live accidentally. They let circumstances, other people, and random chance dictate their path. They're passengers in their own lives. You don't have to live this way. You can be intentional. You can decide what matters and organize your life around it. You can say no to everything else without guilt. This is what it means to make today count, to live each day in alignment with what truly matters to you. Clarity plus execution equals transformation. You can have all the clarity in the world, but without execution, nothing changes. You can execute relentlessly, but without clarity, you're just busy. The magic happens when you combine both. Clarity tells you where to aim. Execution gets you there. When you know what matters and you do something about it every single day, transformation is inevitable. Not someday. Not when conditions are perfect. Every damn day. Your starting point is now. Maybe you've been meaning to make changes for months or years. Maybe you've tried before and failed. Maybe you're skeptical that this time will be different. None of that matters. The past is done. What matters is what you do starting now. Today, this day, right now you can choose differently. You can identify what truly matters. You can write down your must-dos. You can block time for focused work. You can say no to one thing that doesn't serve you. You can show up and execute, even if you don't feel like it. You don't need to overhaul your entire life today. You just need to do one thing that matters. Then do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. Small actions, repeated daily, compound into extraordinary results. But only if you start. The challenge. Here's my challenge to you. Commit to 30 days of relentless execution on your must-dos. Not perfect execution, that's impossible. But committed execution. Showing up every day, completing your must-dos, staying focused on what matters. 30 days. That's it. If you do this, truly do it, not halfway but fully, you'll be a different person at the end. You'll have proof that you can follow through. You'll have momentum. You'll have results. And more importantly, you'll have a new identity, someone who executes. Someone who shows up. Someone who doesn't just talk about goals but makes real progress toward them. Every damn day. Not when you feel like it. Not when conditions are perfect. Not someday. Every damn day. This is the secret nobody wants to hear because it's not sexy or exciting. There's no hack, no shortcut, no way to skip the daily work. But here's what makes it worth it. Every damn day compounds. Every damn day builds. Every damn day moves you closer to the life you actually want to live. A year from now, you'll either be someone who showed up every damn day and transformed their life, or someone who waited for the perfect moment that never came. The choice is yours. It always has been. Make today count. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until the new year. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start today. Get clear on what matters. Write down your must-dos. Do them. Tomorrow, do it again. Focus hard. Execute relentlessly. Cut everything that doesn't matter. Every damn day. Your life is waiting. Go build it. This is just a taste of every damn day. Stay focused on what matters. If you're ready to stop getting sidetracked and start building the daily discipline that actually creates results, like and subscribe to the audiobook by Nolan. Get the book in the description below and make every day count.